This is a stimulus check update and daily news report. Got some big breaking news. Joe Manchin's $1.8 trillion offer is now off the table for the Build Back Better plan. Omicron is surging. President Biden is going to ask Congress for more money, which also asks the question, are we going to get a fourth stimulus check for 2022? I'll give you the latest stimulus check articles like this. Stimulus check update. Talks reopen for fourth stimulus check. And you might get two $1,400 stimulus checks next month, but time is running out for Congress to approve the bill. I'll give you the latest 10 cities that are participating in the Universal Basic Income monthly check programs. Also, if you're expecting a tax return this year, it might be smaller due to previous stimulus checks that you received, and I'll give you some other updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So due to the Omicron surge and record cases that are going on, Biden is planning to ask Congress for more money to tackle the pandemic as Omicron rages on. So this money, although it is for another package, it's not going to contain stimulus checks. Basically, the package would focus on ramping up vaccines, therapeutics, and assisting global vaccine efforts. So when it comes to a stimulus check there, not going to happen. But also, what about this? Will Omicron surge bring stimulus checks back to the table in 2022? So basically what it's talking about here is the Omicron variant is fueling a surge of COVID-19 cases. If the economy is forced to shut down to some degree, it could make the case for more stimulus funds. Although at this point, we don't see a lockdown or shutdown or anything like that happening, at least in the US. So once it gets to that point, then we'll probably see some sort of fourth stimulus check. And this article, Stimulus Check Update, talks reopen for fourth stimulus check. What this is talking about saying is that if there is another round of stimulus, it is likely to go to small business owners, which seems to be the case. Another stimulus package is developing in Congress, and that's going to go to restaurant owners, gym owners, small business venues, but not necessarily for the American citizens. Also, there remain political obstacles in the way for further assistance. Joe Manchin being one of them, which I'll mention in a moment. Also, Jen Psaki was asked the question about the possibility of more stimulus funds, and she said, we're in constant conversations. We don't know who she's in constant conversations with or what the conversations are about. When it comes to Joe Manchin and the Build Back Better plan, so Manchin's $1.8 trillion spending offer is reportedly no longer on the table. U.S. Senator Joe Manchin's $1.8 trillion spending offer he proposed to the White House in late 2021 appears to no longer be on the table, according to the Washington Post yesterday. There appears to be a breakdown between Democratic lawmaker from West Virginia and the White House, the report says. So it says appears to be a breakdown. I don't even think there ever was a connection between Joe Manchin and the White House. Seems like there were almost no talks, as Joe Manchin has repeatedly said he is not on board and will never be on board, despite all the Democrats saying he is on board and eventually going to pass it. So when it comes to the Build Back Better plan, although it did not contain any stimulus checks or big stimulus provisions, looks like the child tax credit may be axed from that, and it may be even smaller, which makes me ask you, do you even care about the Build Back Better plan anymore if it doesn't have as many stimulus provisions as it had before? Democrats are getting desperate to try to pass something to prove that they did something to help out the economy and help out the country before the midterm elections. When it comes to stimulus check articles, so you might get two $1,400 stimulus checks next month, but time is running out for Congress to approve the bill. So this headline is completely false. It's talking about the child tax credit, which back in December, when they thought there was going to be a Christmas deadline, they thought it was going to pass, and they said that when it passes by Christmas, you'll get two child tax credit payments in February. Which is not the case because the Build Back Better plan did not pass and doesn't seem like it's going to pass before February. Also, $1,400 checks. Maybe I'm not good at math, but $250 a month and $300 a month. I don't see how that could equal $1,400. So this title is completely wrong. When it comes to the $2,000 per month to every American stimulus check petition, currently at 3,002,000 signatures. So it reached that 3 million mark. And there's no more updates on here. It doesn't say that something is going to happen now that it hit 3 million. Although a lot of people want it, and this proves that a lot of people want it, there's still no politicians who are taking it up and endorsing it and saying, all right, now it's time to have a fourth stimulus check. So I'll keep you updated on that. When it comes to the 10 cities that are offering universal basic income program. So 10 cities and states offer universal basic income worth up to $12,000. Are you eligible? So universal basic income or guaranteed income is a way to give money to people with nothing in return. It's basically to help out through monthly checks. So Alaska is going to give out $1,114 per person to 643,000 Alaskans this year, 2022. Pittsburgh is going to give out $500 a month for 2 years, so that's going to equal $12,000 over the course of 24 months. That's going out to 200 households with low income. Columbia, South Carolina is going to give 100 low-income fathers debit cards worth up to $500 for 11 months. Then Chicago is going to, this is probably the biggest one, anyone who makes less than $35,000 a year, they're going to give $500 a month to 5,000 of those families. In Los Angeles, a total of 3,200 families will get $1,000 monthly checks. In New Orleans, they're going to start to give $350 monthly payments to teens, I guess not just teens, but 16 to 24-year-olds unemployed or not in school to help out with financial literacy. In Newark, New Jersey, 400 residents are going to get a $250 biweekly payment or $3,000 over the course of each year. In Rochester, New York, it's going to give $500 payments to 175 low-income families, so Rochester, New York, for 12 months. Then we got Durham, North Carolina. 115 residents are going to receive $500 per month payments. This is part of a $700,000 pilot program there. California has a few different ones going on. It's talking about the California stimulus checks there, but California does have multiple guaranteed income programs. Speaking of stimulus checks, if you did not get your third stimulus check or you got partial of it, stay tuned for this. So you may receive a letter from the IRS about stimulus checks. Here's what it means. So the IRS is sending out letters. Don't throw it away. These letters can help taxpayers or their tax professional prepare their 2021 federal tax return. So if you received the stimulus check and that was your only income for the year, hold on to that, because when you do your tax return, if you may be owed other money, even if you didn't make any other money, you could still file a tax return. Even if you did receive your third stimulus check, you could still file a tax return and get that third stimulus check. Also, be on the lookout. This is the time of year, or around this time, when a lot of scammers will send out a letter that looks like the IRS asking for more information. The IRS won't ask for your information in this letter, so be aware of that. Speaking of the IRS, your tax refund may be smaller than expected due to stimulus checks or stimulus provisions that you received in the past. Take a look at this video right here.
If you were banking on a nice, healthy tax refund this year, try not to get your hopes up and plan accordingly. Remember all that really helpful pandemic financial relief the government gave out last year? Well, if you got any of it, your tax refund may be smaller than you expected. Some of you might actually owe money to the government. Let me explain this through the life of our friend Betty. Betty, as you know, is a working mother. If you watch the show, you know that the pandemic's not been particularly kind to her financially, and she's about to find out that tax day is going to put her in a financial hole. Betty's been collecting the expanded child tax credit for her 5-year-old son, you know him, Bobby. The American Rescue Plan, signed by President Joe Biden last March, boosted the child tax credit from $2,000 to $3,000 per child aged 17 and under, with an extra $600 for children who are under 6. Now, this was a game changer for Betty last year, but she received half the credit up front in the form of $300 monthly payments, meaning she's going to have a smaller write-off when it comes time to file her taxes. Now, like many adults, Betty's still paying off her student loans. She's one of nearly 49 million Americans who owe a total of $1.57 trillion in student loans today. And Betty nearly doubled her debt by going to graduate school for a degree in a field that she didn't end up pursuing. Betty, like 90% of student loan borrowers, has been taking advantage of the pause on federal student loan payments, which was another financial life raft at a time when Betty and her family were just keeping their heads above water. But like the child tax credit, it was a trade-off because Betty is not going to be able to write off her federal student loan interest when it comes time to file her taxes for 2021. Now, Betty and her partner are smart with their money. They both have investments in mutual funds, and those did pretty well last year, but some of those mutual funds are not invested in a 401k, which means any gains that the fund took are taxable. And there's more. At the beginning of 2021, Betty's partner was out of a job because of the pandemic and was collecting unemployment benefits. The American Rescue Plan offered a tax break on a certain amount of unemployment collected in 2020. But there's no indication that Congress is going to pass a law to offer a similar tax break for unemployment that was received in 2021. So for now, at least, Betty's partner will be paying more in taxes on their unemployment benefits than they did in 2020. Betty is a pretty normal American. She received the child tax credit, she paused her federal student loan payments, she made money on mutual funds, and her partner collected unemployment in 2021. All of that equals a smaller refund, or perhaps even a tax bill. One thin silver lining, Betty's got a little extra time to get her taxes together this year. The IRS has extended the tax filing deadline from April 15th to May 17th. So get organized ahead of time, manage your expectations, and plan accordingly. Betty's going to put Bobby to bed early tonight and start digging in on her taxes right away, but not without a big glass of red wine because, as you know, Betty likes wine.
So let me know down in the comments below, are you expecting a big tax return, small tax return, no tax return? Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. And that is all the stimulus news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Guys, I didn't see you there. Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. So I wanted to tell you something that you should do. Hi guys. What are you doing? Sorry, that's my sister. If you want to do something and you can't find something, you have to do what you want to do and make another something. If you can't do the first one, then go on to the next one because you have to stay positive and good and have good relationships with some friends. And you should always be good enough. Bye. That's all I wanted to tell you. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. So yesterday was my first day eating after a 7-day juice cleanse, and it was glorious. So first thing I ate was a smoothie, fruit smoothie, just to get my system back on board with whatever, so I wouldn't go crazy. And then had some small things. I could barely fit anything in my stomach because I guess my stomach was so small. I would eat very little things like chips and hummus, and I barely ate anything, and my stomach just filled up. But yeah, it was great to eat again, feeling good, and ready to start chewing for 2022. If you want to check out my latest Wise Vibes video, you could click up here. If you want to get yourself in a better mood, get a little positivity in your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.